Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hey everybody, just want to thank you all for downloading Today We Learn number 4. Our guest today is comedian, author, guitar player, multi-hyphenate Greg Behrendt. Not only is he a comedian, but he's also a guitar player in a really cool surf rock band called the Reigning Monarchs. They just had their new single, Murder Your Summer, released last Tuesday, and they got a new album coming out on September 24th. Looking forward to that. You can listen to their current stuff on Spotify or download it on iTunes. Support good stuff, man. Support good stuff. Yeah, this was a really fun episode. Greg's really fun to hang out and chat with, and we're looking forward to having him back in the future. So, without further ado, let's learn some shit.
Today we learn. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Alrighty, thanks for listening to Today We Learned. My name is Razzle.
And I'm Dan.
And with us we have Greg Behrendt, ladies and gentlemen.
What's happening, guys?
Not
Welcome.
too much.
What's happening, guys? That was super radio the way I did that. What's going on, guys? What's everybody up to?
So we got Greg in the studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the newest from the Foo Fighters coming up next.
What I like to say is that we're going to have a Goo Goo Foo 2 for Friday. That's 2 from the Goo Goo Dolls and the Foo Fighters. You get $10,000 in party cash.
Finally.
$10,000 in party cash. Come on down.
We'll be at the local car dealership.
Drippers, LA's only strip club and coffee shop where the ladies are as hot as the coffee, but you only want one of them in your lap.
Alrighty, basically, if you're just tuning in for the first time, this is a podcast about knowledge and humor, and we troll the internet.
And I'm at the wrong. You've picked the wrong guest.
We'll make it work.
Well,
we'll fix it.
We got laugh tracks.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of random factoids and fun stuff out there on the internet, but who has the time to go through all of that? The answer is we do. We do all the hard work. We do the legwork. And this week we are bringing you some brand new factoids, fun fact stories, all the stuff that you love in one convenient place here for your listening pleasure. So, sit back, relax. We're going to tell you some facts.
Please relax.
Yeah. Calm down.
Unless you're driving.
Listening to a podcast, you're a person that needs to relax.
If you're driving or on the treadmill, stay focused.
Stay focused, pay attention.
But if you're in a cubicle, just shut it down.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Close that spreadsheet.
Close that door. If
Close it down. Just let them know you're taking a moment for yourself.
Coffee break time. Cool. Rock and roll. Let's start this off. Greg, tell us a fact about yourself. Something maybe the audience, if they don't know who you are, enlighten them.
I have 17 tattoos.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know if that's a fact. I don't know if that's interesting at all, but it's a fact.
What is your most embarrassing tattoo?
Oh, well, the thing I started out with is embarrassing. So on my right shoulder, right here, is just a heart inside of a sun, and it's not even the size of a dime. And that was my first tattoo. That's the whole thing. And my mom, who was disgusted by the whole idea said, at least if you were going to get a tattoo, why didn't you get a tattoo? Like, what is that? Like, it was so small. She's like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, so she mocked me for getting a tattoo, but then she also mocked the size of the tattoo. It's like, if you're gonna break the rules, break the rules.
Yeah. That's really fun. You don't you expect to get like chastised, but you don't expect to have your aesthetic choices.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she didn't. She thought it was weak.
I don't have any tattoos, but I've always wanted to get a tattoo of the Chinese symbol for bad idea. So if anybody asks what that means, I can be like, it's a bad idea.
I like that.
Cool. I know you're in a band, the Reigning Monarchs.
Yeah, I play in an instrumental surf punk reggae ska band called the Reigning Monarchs.
Awesome.
And we make music for no one.
I'm sure
it's a very specific type of music.
That's quite the niche there.
Yeah, I mean it's surf music. At the end of the day, that's what it. And it's but it's cool. It's really cool.
Surf music's fun. I dig it.
Yeah, it's good.
I dig it.
Good.
I have a few Spotify and Pandora surf stations.
Yeah, it's good. It's good fun music. People like it, and the songs are over quickly. And there's no singer, so there's nothing to be mad about. You don't have to be. You don't have to take umbrage with anybody.
His lyrics are bullshit.
Yeah, I hate his voice. It's like, and then there's no. You're in and out of the studio quickly. It's good.
Well, speaking of music and bands, we got a little fact about a band here. There's a band called Megadeth. I'm sure most people listening are familiar with that. That actually they got their name from the Megadeth is a unit of measurement. It means 1 megadeath, or 1 million deaths caused by a nuclear explosion. So that's pretty wild there.
That's super positive.
That's like a
Yeah, right?
I like that. Well, that is what the end of Superman is.
yeah. We were talking about that
The new
earlier.
Superman.
That's close to like 16 megadeaths. That is just
Right?
catastrophic.
There was catastrophic death in the end of Superman. There's Megadeth. The guy from Megadeth is awesome, Dave Mustaine. He is the one that came up with the idea that the Newtown shootings were orchestrated by the Obama administration to take our guns away. You think I'm kidding? That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Yeah, he's not a good dinner guest.
It's like him and Ted Nugent. Like, I love the music, but man, are they nuts? Like, there's like, come on, just
it's just
don't bore me. Get
just
to the chorus.
Just go bow hunting and occasionally release a new record. Otherwise,
Wango Tango,
yeah.
you know, Moto Psycho. I'll listen to you guys, but I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to.
Wango's a tango. Just come in in the loincloth and then leave.
Yeah, leave. Don't talk.
leave the 14-year-old girls and the Newt Gingrich pablum behind.
Good stuff. Here's an interesting one. Speaking of completely on the reverse side of Megadeth and heavy metal, Pope Francis, the new pope. Mm-hmm. A lot of things about him. He's one of the more humble popes. He's had a girlfriend. He's been around, and then he decided he wanted to become a pope. He was actually a bouncer when he was young to pay for schooling. He was a bouncer at a bar.
Back in Buenos Aires, he used to bounce people at the bar. And,
When they were looking at their list of criteria this time, the word swagger was on there, and they were like, "We want a swagger pope. Like, we want a dude that can throw a forearm into somebody's throat, and also maybe knows what pootie's like. Like, why not?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just had a list of hashtags on their their Craigslist posting.
Does our pope have a swagger coach? That's awesome.
It's the wave of the future. We need a pope to relate, a
it's
relatable young pope.
Exactly, a little bit cooler than being part of the Nazi youth movement.
It's just going to keep getting more and more degraded.
Yeah.
So this new pope used to get high. He's gay.
Former Disney Channel star.
Yeah, totally.
Pope Francis, and he's actually the first Francis, and a lot of people call him Francis I, but actually they've decided you can't be Francis I until you have a Francis II. However, there was a Pope John Paul I, and apparently he gave himself the one.
He just had the one.
He's like, I want to be known as Pope John Paul I.
Now there's a swagger coach.
There's a
Pope
swagger
Francis
coach.
I
could
like
look
that.
into.
Yeah.
There. He's like Pope John Paul is like the Kanye, I feel like, of popes. You know what? I'm the first. I'm going to be the last.
I would like it
Give
if
me the one.
I would like it if Francis just said, "You can call me. Look, just call me Frank."
Yeah, Pope, Frank the Pope.
Yeah, it's Frank the Pope. I was Frankie the door guy.
Yeah.
That's right. And they give them
the door guy.
What's his? But that's not his real name, right? The Pope's name's not their real name, right?
His name is, if I can pronounce this, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, I believe. And,
Okay.
His dad was
You took out the nickname in the middle, which was the Fist.
Jorge the Fist Bergoglio.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring.
Yeah, totally.
He's
Weighing 119 pounds.
he took public transit here to stay humble, ladies and gentlemen. Jorge the Fist.
I love it.
What do we got for us, Dan? What other random
Well,
facts
this
here?
is, a lot of people are terrified of sharks. When they go in the water, it's just
Yeah.
an abiding fear that they have.
Yeah.
But, fun fact, more people are bitten each year by New Yorkers than they are by sharks.
Come on.
That is a science fact. Okay, so if in the USA, you're already 16 times more likely to be hit by lightning than being bitten by a shark, but it's terrifying that you're more likely to be bitten by a fellow person, by a New Yorker, than a shark. I would assume that the sharks, that scant though they may be, they're more engineered to attack you with their mouth than a fellow New Yorker.
That's so...
See, it's based on how many incidences, like people, like they do a math, like the percentage of how many people swim and do ocean activities.
Yeah.
Then they factor in how many shark attacks. So if you think about, if there's way more people walking around the streets of New York on a daily basis,
That's
than are going
fair.
and
I guess
swimming.
they are also.
Well, that's
probably-
now called swimming.
Yeah, when the humidity's at
Like now, I'm going to
100%.
see walking in New York is a whole different adventure. Like, I don't want to fucking get... Like, I didn't even know it was possible.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm going to have my guard
Always
up.
wear like a
Yeah.
little chainmail under your shirt.
I just envision the opening scene from Jaws where the girl's swimming and the shark sees like the flapping in the water and the shark comes up and bites her. I just envision like that from a human perspective, seeing somebody like fanning themselves because it's heat and they just want to go up and like chomp on their wrist or something.
What if it's like people who are people who are carrying steaks home and it's just like fucking chum. Somebody's just got a big old bake of steaks and then somebody else just goes, sorry, dude.
I smelled prime rib, so I came running.
Oh, my God.
I love raw meat. I got to consume some, which is, speaking of, like, that's another weird thing. This is one thing, like, why I consume so much bacon, because I feel like I'm doing humanity justice. Mm-hmm. Alone in the United States and Canada, approximately 40 people are killed each year by pigs, which is 6 times more than by sharks worldwide. So there's pigs murdering 40 people a year just in the United States alone.
Let me just say something. If you get killed by a pig, it's on you. Like, you're weak, and you should, like, if you got killed, if you can't get out of the way of a pig, you're just like a Darwin, man. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I feel like usually you wind up getting fed to pigs by mobsters or serial killers, because I've only seen it in, I think, Red Dragon or The Iceman.
Right? I don't know that. I mean, maybe it's on YouTube. Yeah. Maybe pig murder's on there. But
Accidental Pig Murder, which is another great band name. Internet.
So now there's 3 places to stay out of, which is New York, the ocean, and farms now.
In case you were thinking of taking a tropical vacation, you should also know that considerably more people worldwide are killed by falling coconuts than they are sharks as well.
That's what I heard, and I also heard that there's a lot of people get killed by palm fronds, and I fucking love palm trees. They're my favorite.
When I first moved to Los Angeles, I come from Boston, where there are considerably fewer palm trees in general. Yeah. And one of my first weeks here, I was walking back to my car. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, a palm frond flies down, hits the car in front of me, and the rear windshield shatters into a million pieces, like someone like Chuck Norris was jumping out a plate glass window behind it.
Yeah. They're angry trees. They're prehistoric trees. They're fucking. They don't like people. I don't blame them.
Vengeful plants.
Look what you're doing to this planet, peeps.
Here's a weird fact, since we're gentlemen here. I learned this the other day. In urinals, you ever notice in urinals how there's like a bumblebee or like a shell on like the bottom of the urinal? Like there's like an icon, a picture of a shell.
I thought you meant like an actual bee corpse.
Somebody's going around placing corpses of bees on the bottom of urinals. There's like an icon, a picture of a bumblebee or a shell on the bottom of urinals, and that's for aim, because that depletes the splash back. So somebody...
it's so funny because I love to pee into the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah.
I'm always peeing in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm always getting wet.
I want to make a mess.
Oh, my God.
Somebody imagine whose job that was to sit in the urinal production facility and figure out which is the best place for least amount of splashback.
We got to bring more waters down to Carl. He's almost got this thing solved. He's hit almost every spot, but he's gone dry.
We need some more khakis over here. We can't tell which.
Oh my God.
Also, at what point do you think they switched over to just using regular water and stop having a guy pee into a test urinal?
Like for a while. It took a while until they just got a squirt gun out or like a baster.
Oh, so we had this the whole time.
But Carl still wants to do it.
Yeah, Carl's a madman.
We got to pull back his benefits. He's working way too many hours over here.
That's hilarious.
So, speaking of sort of odd jobs like that, James Lipton, we all know him as the Inside the Actor Studio guy.
Yeah,
very huge into thespianism. But previously, in 1950, he used to be a pimp in Paris. That sounds like a movie title, but that was his real job.
Come on.
Yeah.
I think Lipton dropped that shit on himself just to make himself look hard. It's too late, Lipton.
It was an interview in People. He said men couldn't get jobs, and in the male chauvinist Paris of that time, the women couldn't get work at all. It was perfectly respectable for them to go into les milieux.
And then he ran a les milieux. He would pimp them out.
Yeah, apparently. He went on to say, young women desperately needed money for various reasons. They were beautiful and young and extraordinary. There was no opprobrium because it was completely regulated. Every week they had to be inspected medically. The great bordellos were still flourishing in those days before the sheriff of Paris, a woman, closed them down. It was a different time.
The great bordellos. Lipton, you're such a... I mean...
Yeah.
And the picture on this article is just him doing the Fonzie 2 thumbs up, like, hey, I know I'm cool.
I'd like to see him inside the bordello studio where he interviews the great madames of the era.
Now, when you first started fucking...
Yes. Where were you when you found the clitoris.
Right? My favorite position that you do. That's great. And then there's just a bunch. And then there's a bunch of other young whores sitting around, watching,
notes.
wanting to wave. And when I say young whores, I mean that in a nice way. Young prostitutes.
Yes,
I don't like that word. I feel gross saying that.
It's the industry term, I believe.
Prostitutes.
I don't. Whores.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like that word.
I
think the preferred term is sex worker.
Yeah, or pros.
Mm-hmm.
Pros.
Bunch of pros. Yeah.
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 Yeah, whores is kind of like...
Or mom. Get it? My mom was a prostitute, everybody. That's what makes that joke so funny, Don Draper. Don Draper lived in a whorehouse.
That's
a spoiler for those who haven't caught up on all 6 seasons of Mad Men.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Right. By the way, and there are people, waiting. Yeah. They're waiting to watch it all in one weekend.
I feel like... I can't. I have no problem spoiling things like that, like Game of Thrones or Mad Men. It's 2013. You have access to things.
Yeah.
Keep up. You're gonna find out. Don't be angry when you accidentally read a tweet about it when it was the next day. Like, do you have technology?
Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Like, quit complaining and keep up. Like, it upsets me how many people complain about when something's been out for 6 seasons. It's like, you've had 6 seasons.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how many people didn't watch the tightrope walk after the dude made it. Because somebody tweeted he made it, and went, "Oh, fuck it, I'm going to just take that off my PVR
for me."
Yeah,
because I watched that thing in real time, dude, and I was like shitting. I was like, "God, dude, don't fall."
So it was straight up live because I heard it and I seen tweets about it. I didn't know what it was.
Straight up live, man. That guy's got major sack.
And so
my friend thinks he's an idiot. He's got 3 kids. What kind of an asshole does that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, an asshole wants to make a lot of money in one shot and walks across wires.
An asshole who did make a lot of money.
There wasn't a net.
No net, dude.
Was he was connected to the wire though?
No tether.
No tether.
The first time he did it, he said the first time he did it, on television, he did Niagara Falls.
Okay.
And they made him wear a tether. And he's like, I didn't learn with a tether. It was harder with a tether. And then I said I would only do it if Discovery let me do it without a tether. Like, death is the he goes, otherwise what are you watching?
Okay, I applaud that.
A guy in slippers,
take that.
Holding a stick, and no, it was balls, man. He did it, but he invoked Jesus' name the entire time.
Really?
Praise Jesus! Oh, praise Jesus! Oh, Jesus! What a great day you've created for me! Like in His kingdom, like he just talked about Jesus all the time. And then I think it's his dad, because he has an earpiece on.
Okay.
And the other guy, and there's just a guy going, "Oh, you're doing great." You do great. You look great. You look... No, I know. The wind's blowing. Yeah, but you're handling it.
Just calming him down.
I was like, fuck, why don't I have one of those guys?
Yeah. Can you imagine just having that in your everyday life?
You're having a good set.
Yeah.
You're having hey, whoa. I know you're in an argument with your wife, but you're doing fine, dude. Just slow down.
Really
Listen to what she's saying.
You look cool right now.
Yeah.
She knows it. She's just angry.
She's getting it. You're doing good, bro. You're doing good, bro.
I'm glad he invoked Jesus, because I'm glad Jesus took the time off to help him do that instead of prevent child murders and kidnapping. So I'm glad.
Jesus likes a good stunt, like anybody else. I mean,
the Bible is pretty spectacle heavy, so you'd have to imagine he's going to show up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's no walking on water, but still, it's pretty close. Like, that's pretty good. But yeah, he made it. It was like a 20-minute walk.
20 minutes.
Oh my God. I know people that wouldn't do a 20-minute walk on sidewalks, let alone across a chasm.
Yeah.
So there was no commercials. It was obviously straight.
Once he started, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they piled him up before, and then he got in a prayer circle with Joel Osteen, and then he made it across the Grand Canyon.
So when is Joel Osteen going to walk across the Grand Canyon?
He just floated above him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He just floated above him.
Turned into a cloud of bats and flew away.
Yeah, he turned into a cloud of bats. I'm not real.
Where are the other drugs going?
Well, speaking of bullshit, there is a website out there that lets you anonymously send a gallon of elephant, gorilla, or cow shit to anyone you choose.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting, but it does exist. It's called poopsenders.com. They are not the sponsor of this podcast, but if for some reason you need to send someone a horrendous pile of crap, you can do it through poopsenders.com.
I mean, first off, thanks for providing that service, because I wouldn't know where to get poop otherwise.
Well, and it's also there's a button on the website to turn it into the unrated version to where it transfers from poop senders into shit senders.
Ooh.
So it's a little rebellious.
So you can look at it when the kids are around, and you have a little something extra for when you're on your own.
If you're that mad at somebody, just go talk to someone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can't.
My favorite is the customer testimonials that they have on the front page. Like, oh, it was a very prompt service. The poop arrived right when they said
my
it
God.
would.
This is the best poop experience I've had.
Yes.
I've sent some other poop. I've gone to some of these independent people. Mike Tyson was supposed to send me his poop. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And that's what, like, if you're sending somebody poop as like out of like a retaliation of some sort, how do you know if they get it? Because if somebody sent me poop, I would deny it completely.
Yeah.
No, I never got any poop.
So you get a giant bucket of poop at your door? No reason. Asking for a friend.
Just asking.
Did you get him? Oh my God, that's
Wow.
awesome.
That's funny. Speaking of websites, Google. I don't know if you're everybody here.
Oh, I don't know. What is that?
It's like Bing.
That's like,
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I also love Jonah Ray.
Popping up before every Hulu video you will ever see.
Oh my gosh, good for him.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
it's
good.
big.
Google has a search feature called I Feel Lucky. And basically, you type in your search, and then if you're feeling lucky, you hit I'm feeling lucky, and it'll take you right to a website. Now, because it takes you right to a website, it doesn't take you to the search page where it gives you all the possible searches you can do.
It's like I think you're going to take me to right where I want to go.
Exactly. So you're bypassing all the possible searches.
Right.
Now, that's where Google makes a ton of their ad revenues from that search page where they have so many ads that they make a lot of money. Now, they lose roughly $110 million in revenue each year just by people feeling lucky. So because people click the I Feel Lucky, they're bypassing all of those ads, which essentially is making Google lose $110 million a year.
God, I feel bad for them. I hope they can rebound. Because
Yeah, right?
That's a lot of money.
But
and
then-
think of how much those Google Doodles cost.
now they can't put chrome rims on their driverless cars.
Right?
Well,
But did you go to a day where if you type in gay, then it puts a rainbow in your thing?
Yes, yeah. There's a wide variety of gay terms like domestic partnership, same-sex marriage, at all.
Yeah. And
It's not just because of the DOMA thing today. It is because of it's a month-long Pride Month celebration. I found out.
And it's on
Yeah.
Google?
So it is Google.
So there's people going there just to type in gay to see that stuff. So that'll make up.
Yeah, they're gonna.
They have
and-
little Google things like, hey, you can play the Google guitar and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like,
Do like a barrel
That'll be
roll.
all right.
You
Yeah.
type do a barrel roll and like the
plus,
Google
how many times
flip.
when they say I'm lucky, get lucky, and then they take you to a place you're like, that's not what I wanted.
It's very rarely what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe if I typed in Facebook and then hit I'm feeling lucky, I'd be okay. But chances are I'd wind up somewhere that I have no business being.
Yeah.
Speaking of websites and speaking of like Easter eggs, as they're called,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. When you go to YouTube, if the video is buffering and it's like got that little circle, you can hit the arrow keys and all of a sudden play that Snake game from childhood.
From fabulous Nokia phones from the
From
late 90s.
from those Texas Instrument calculators.
It's something to do while the thing is buffering or
Yep.
loading.
Yeah, while the video's loading, if you press any of the arrow keys twice,
Oh my God! Do you
can
know what
play a
that
little
says
game of
about?
Snake.
Do you know what that says about us as people?
We can't.
What are you gonna do with that 45 seconds?
Yeah,
I'm freaking out.
What are you going to do if you don't see that new Macklemore video exactly when you want it? We have a game for you to play while you're waiting for Macklemore to bring it. Is he Macklemore? Is that a fad, or does he have a career?
I think that he does have a career outside of Thrift Shop. I think it was good that Thrift Shop was so catchy, but bad because it seems like kind of a gimmicky
Little
song.
novelty.
But
Yeah.
I think he's getting traction outside of that as well.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
That album that Thrift Shop is on, I believe, "Can't Hold Us." The Ceiling Can't Hold Us. That's a really good song. He's a musician. Like I used to be in a punk band when I was young. Much like you're in a band now. He's straight up. He's not on a label from what I've read and understand. He has Warner Brothers, I believe, released his album, but everything's DIY. Like all his music videos, it's all like low budget.
Yep.
Him and his producer film it and direct it and all of that. From what I've read, and that's admirable to just be like, you know what, we're going to do it our way. We're not going to play the huge game.
Yeah.
We're going to fly coach to shows, and that's I hope he sticks around because that's admirable right there. To be as huge as Thrift Shop is and still be not in the machine
Yeah,
as
totally.
much as he is.
Totally. Yeah. No, it's. I mean, it's rare. It's really rare that somebody can have that. That opportunity. I mean, he obviously is very, very good for that many people to do that. And I know a couple labels have tried to sign him, and he's just like, I don't.
Doesn't
I don't need to share my money with anybody.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Louis C.K. thing. Like, if you can, you may as well go for it.
Yeah, totally.
Man, that's cool.
Well, sort of achieving that success. This is going to be the worst segue of all time. Achieving that success is akin to
By the way,
finding
as
something.
a podcast, you don't need a segue.
Yeah, it's true. So let's just move right along to Scotland's official animal, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Now, what would you imagine is the official animal of Scotland if someone just asked you on the street?
The pint.
The pint. Close. It is
pint.
actually the unicorn.
What?
Yeah.
Right, the unicorn.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Unicorns aren't real, but neither is Scotland.
No, it's not. It's not. Scotland is just a state of mind. That's
It was a major symbol in Celtic mythology.
Uh-huh.
It symbolized innocence, purity, healing powers, joy, and life. And it was also seen as a symbol of masculinity and power.
yeah.
I imagine.
Did anyone explain to them it's going to fuck up their zoos?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have your official animal in your zoo. Do you understand that? We're going to give you another shot. I understand you're saying unicorn. What else do you guys have?
Yeah, I think they're waiting for science to catch up and some less than scrupulous geneticists to get their hands on a zebra.
People go all the way to New Zealand to see flightless birds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everyone's going to go. Here's another reason not to go to Scotland.
Exactly.
That's well. While we're on the topic of animals,
And Craig Ferguson.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I like Craig fine.
Craig's awesome. While we're on the topic of animals, even though we don't need segues, here's something that baffled me. I'm a child of the 80s, early 90s, and when I was growing up, Nick at Night would always air reruns of shows. One of the shows that they would air was a show called Mr. Ed, which, for those of you unfamiliar with it, it's a talking horse. Everybody in this room, I'm sure, is familiar with it.
I'm old enough to have seen it in real time.
In real time. Did you know that Mr. Ed was not actually a horse? The animal portraying Mr. Ed was actually a female zebra.
Yeah, it was Mrs. Ed.
Whoa.
It was Edina.
Yeah.
No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are you saying so it was full African?
It was a female zebra, and the stable that it was built in was built with forced perspective because zebras are smaller than horses. And the reason they used a zebra is because they actually got it from a Thousand Oaks Zoo. The horses, they couldn't keep trained enough to do what they needed, and because it was filmed in black and white. From what I understand, I'm not a scientist by any means, so I'm just reading the words and trying to process them. The black and white film makes, when black and white real colors are close enough to each other, it essentially negates it and becomes invisible on black and white film. So a black and white striped zebra would appear to just be a white
Now, is that
a white horse.
on the show but not in the opening credits? Because that really does seem like a horse to me.
It is.
Well,
a
they
zebra.
filmed the pilot and I think a couple episodes with the horse.
Right.
Then it just wasn't working.
Got it.
So they ended up switching to a zebra.
they recast.
They
Yeah.
recast it.
Yeah.
Working with that diva Black
Yeah.
Beauty
Yeah.
wasn't working out.
It was just
Yeah.
like when they fired Ray Romano from news radio. What was it called?
Parenthood.
Nope.
Everyone
Radio.
loves-
Everybody.
News Radio.
Yes.
He was originally had Joe Rogan's part.
Oh, really?
And he got fired at the table.
I did
That
not
would
know
have been
that.
a vastly different show.
Ray Romano.
Wouldn't it be
was
great
on-
if they fired the horse at the table read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
You're
fuck
not
is he doing? Are you not a goddamn horse?
You call that a nay?
How hard
Get
is
out.
it?
Who keeps giving them oats? Take them out of here.
Yeah.
Who got the horse? Bring the fucking zebra in.
Yeah.
Let's just bring a fucking zebra in because this is horse shit.
Yeah. And speaking of, like, I'm not a sports fan, but this is an interesting read too, considering it was in black and white. That's why, like, a lot of sports weren't televised up until the advent of color TV because of the referees had black and white striped attire on. They would appear.
Yeah, it made them look invisible
Make
to
them look
your
invisible
average
as well.
TV watcher.
Oh, wow.
Which
Yeah.
is weird.
It
Like,
would have been terrifying just seeing like floating arms and legs running
Yeah.
around the field,
Yeah.
officiating.
man, yeah. Yeah,
Also,
that's
during
weird.
along those same lines, during Johnny Cash's famous Live at Folsom Prison concert, a couple inmates were able to sneak past the guards because their black and white garb made them invisible
Come
to
on
the cameras.
now. Come
Right?
on now.
Yeah, and that's something. How'd you escape, Johnny Cash? Help
Yeah.
me escape.
I mean, he wouldn't mind.
No,
Cash
man,
wouldn't
that was a
mind.
good album too. Folsom Prison Blues.
It's a great one.
Man, he had it down.
So here in Los Angeles, there's pretty much a Starbucks in every corner. Would you guys say that's a pretty fair assessment?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, it seems like there's a citywide ordinance mandating that.
Yeah.
However, in Colorado, the number of medical marijuana dispensaries outnumber Starbucks by 3-1.
I mean, those people, you go to Colorado.
Yeah.
Man, what the fuck?
It's like you're already at elevation. What else are you going to do?
I got to get high, but
Yeah.
I forgot what...
Drink that triple frost brewed Coors Light.
They buy pot, they get high, they walk down the street, they forgot they bought pot, they buy more pot.
It's a vicious cycle.
They buy pot coffee. Putting the Starbucks out of
I was about to
business.
say I wonder if that exists, but that's stupid. I know it exists because there's everything.
There's marijuana, everything. Magic brownies, magic steaks.
They have Jolly Ranchers. They have pretty much anything you can think of.
Anything. Energy drinks. I don't have my weed card. Some of my roommates have their weed cards, and it's like they're always bringing the weirdest treats, and I can't it's weird. Well, it baffles me. It's like just smoke weed. I don't understand why they need so many different ways to consume it. Just smoke it.
I don't understand how they haven't figured out a way to make it not taste like a musty snickerdoodle, because that is the universal flavor.
Yeah, I've never had it. I don't.
So I've read.
The ones that I ate back in the 80s when I was in college were vile. And then you were too high.
Yeah.
Ingesting it in your mouth is like, now I can't even open my mouth. Like, I'm stuck on this couch.
Yeah.
Till Tuesday. Like, this is... I got
stuff
nothing
to do.
I got nothing. I'm just a fucking blob.
That's more than 3-1 to Starbucks.
Colorado's a pretty grad state, though. And that's one of the best comedy clubs in the whole country is the Comedy Works.
Yeah, they also have that
for
rooftop
obvious
comedy
reasons.
fest up there that is phenomenal.
Yeah. Colorado's get their shit together.
They got their shit. Yeah, they got...
Little bits of racism, but it's fine.
They got the skiing up there is amazing. Right on. Well, I think we're approaching a decent time to wrap this up, I believe. I think we're at around 30-some minutes. 30
nice.
minutes.
Was there anything that you have coming up that you'd like
short.
to
The
inform
Rainy
me?
Monarchs. The Rainy Monarchs have an album coming out in August called Black Sweater Massacre, and the single is probably out now, which is called Murder Your Summer. And then my wife and I have a book coming out called It's Just a Fucking Date, and you can find it on Amazon and other places. It's mostly an ebook, but you can get a bound copy of it.
Okay.
Made out of children's hair. And
when does that get?
I don't know what that means. I don't even know what I'm talking
Once
about.
the hair grows in.
When does the hard copy, or when does it get released? When does the ebook get released?
23rd of July.
July. July 23rd. Wonderful. Should be around this then.
Yeah.
And if people wanted to find you on Twitter,
At Gregory Behrendt, GregoryBehrendt. Come and join. I've added almost 4 or 5 followers in the last 6 months, and I really feel like my Twitter feed is happening.
And it's at Sweater though, right? Or is that
Sweater's just my name.
Sweater's just
if I had thought about it, I would have you got a good. We were talking about you got a good moniker. Like I would have just changed my name to Sweater when I started.
Yeah.
Sweater GB would have been my name.
it's never too late to change your Twitter
or
handle.
Sweater Girl.
Sweater
Patton
girl.
used to call me Sweater Girl, which I'm fine with. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I like sweaters.
I mean, today is a great enough day to be considered gay anyway,
Yeah,
so
right?
what the hell?
Yeah.
They're going to regret that so much. So many dudes are going to go, why do I have to get married now?
Man.
No, this is the worst day for gay dudes in California who are terrified of commitment. This is their
They had
death
it.
knell.
They had it. There's
so
just a
many
They
bad-
had, they had the fail-safe excuse.
Like
a guy-
I like the excuse of being able to say I'm not going to get married till everybody can, and now I have to resort to saying why buy the cow when I can get the milk for free?
Yeah.
because I had it. As long as gays couldn't get married, I didn't need to propose to any of my girlfriends or anything because it's just like, hey, look,
Yeah.
when everybody can, I will. Now it's like,
there
damn it.
should be a poster for this particular day in history where it's just the date, and then it's one dude sitting on a park bench just elated, and the dude next to him just has his head in his hands, just like, no.
And then there's a divorce lawyer on the side of the road, just like, yes.
Yeah, hello.
And I'm in the wrong
New
profession.
market share.
I'm in the wrong profession. I'm going to go to, what is it, a 7-year to become a lawyer?
I think
7
it's
years
3 years in
schooling?
law
I
school.
wanna be a
7
divorce-
years is if you want to be a doctor as well.
Now's the time to be a divorce lawyer, I
Yeah.
tell you what.
Well,
Not to be on a negative side. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
love and hope and all that. But
So
come
on that note,
Good time to be a divorce lawyer.
yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any stand-up gigs coming up that you want to plug?
Right now, I don't have anything
Okay.
other than just local stuff around here. But the band is going to be playing Outside Lands. And
rad.
I'm
nice.
doing a show called Bring the Rock. So the band plays and comics come up and tell stories.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Love
at
it.
Outside Lands up in San Francisco, August 11th.
Great.
Perfect.
All right, folks. Well, you heard it here. If you have any fun facts you want to talk about, anything you heard today, or if you have something you'd like us to talk about on the podcast, feel free to hit us up online. You can talk to us on Twitter. My handle is @OsteoFerocious.
And my name is Razzle 2, not to be confused with my other Twitter account. My name is Razzle. I like to have two. Use the number 2. The number 2 one always works. And then you can see me. I do stand up all around town, around Los Angeles, if you live here as well.
And you can find more about our podcast, all that fun stuff, at http://www.nerdist.com.
Cool. Thank you guys for hanging around. Thanks for listening. Greg, thank you very much.
Thanks you guys for having me.
Will you come back?
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
All right. This has been Today We Learn, and now you know. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Hey, just want to thank you all for listening to the full episode if you got this far. It's really fun to record these. Dan and I really enjoy it, and we're looking forward to recording some more. So if you guys want, if you enjoyed it, get the word out and tell your friends to download it. Tell your friends to subscribe. Feel free to talk about us on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And give us a good rating on iTunes. And I know Dan and I would appreciate that greatly. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.